Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of Cinnamon Stitches. I am your yarn host Jennifer today. I'm having issues with my chair. My chair don't want to go in the direction I want it to go in. Today we're talking hooks, okay? For those of us out there that we like our hooks, we're gonna talk about hooks today. I have so many hooks on my desk. I got my little little Lazy Susan carrier thing filled with all kinds of hooks. I have more hooks in this thing my sister bought me. I don't know what this is called. It's like a pencil case, but it's a hook case. That's not the right zipper pouch. I have lots and lots of hooks. We're going to talk about different type of hooks that are on the market. I need to go in the other room because I forgot my travel hooks. So we're going to talk about different hooks. We're going to go down to the table. We're going to talk about what hooks I prefer for what things, because honestly, hooks are different. Hooks work with different yarns. Hooks work differently with different projects, and some hooks don't work with some yarns. They're just not compatible. And so we're going to talk about all of that, but I'm going to go to the table because I'm going to show you the hooks up close and personal. And yeah, I want to show you guys what I use most often for travel hooks. I want to show you the hooks I use most often. I want to show you my favorite hooks and why they're my favorite hooks. And we're going to talk about price, and we're going to talk about usage and all of those fun things. So let's go down to the table. Alright, so let's dig into some of our hooks and talk about the different types of hooks. Now, this hook right here is probably most often seen on Amazon, and I'm almost positive that that is where this hook came from. Let me zoom us in just a little bit. There we go. So I'm not sure where these hooks came from. I don't know if they were a gift to me or if I purchased them myself. I don't remember. These are the hooks I use absolutely last, because even though they have this cool, like, ergonomic looking hook, I don't like the way this hard plastic, and it is flexible, but it still feels kind of hard in my hand. So these are the ones I reach for last. This feels kind of short to me when I'm working with these hooks. These are your general not cheapy, they're budget friendly hooks. You could buy a set of these for pretty cheap on Amazon, and they will come with all these different things like stitch markers, and like the little plastic stitch markers. They come with sometimes a pouch to put them in. These hooks are okay. They're okay if you're just starting out, or if you want to buy a set of hooks for someone for Christmas or something because they're just starting out. These are good beginner hooks, but for my opinion, like, these are not my favorite hooks. And even as a beginner, I don't think I would have liked these, just because the shape is kind of like, it doesn't feel real nice in your hands. It's I don't know. The handle is kind of short too. So, and I like longer hooks because I have I don't even have big hands, but I just like hooks that extend out past this, because I feel like that length right there is going to cause me to have a blister right there in my hand from the way that I hold my hooks. That's going to cause me to have a blister. So there's those, which I still have, and these work in a pinch for when I need like a hook for picking up stitches, or I need a hook for something like that. A lot of times these hooks, that's why this is empty, because I will take some of these hooks out and I will put them in knitting bags, so that I have like something to pick up stitches with. This is, again, the same type of thing. However, these are just a different brand, and the handles look a little different. And all of these hooks, the thing that they have in common is that the heads look like the boy style hooks. So it's not that they're bad, it's just that they're boy style hooks. And there's nothing wrong with boy hooks. I mean, I learned how to crochet on boy hooks. I think this is a boy hook. That is not a boy hook. That is discolored. Look at that. That plastic is really discolored. That's kind of gross. Just from being in this bag. Weird. So again, these are just, again, these are the, I think Mr. Cinnamon actually bought me this set off of Amazon, and it was a full set, and if you need a lot of different sizes, this is a good deal, because I think you can get like sizes 3, maybe smaller than that. What else do I have in this bag? Alright, so this set went from 2.5 millimeter up to, I think, 6 millimeter, and I think he paid like $12 for that set. They're fine. They're fine. They're your average, everyday hook. They're just fine. I don't know what, this went to something. I don't even know where that came from. 5.5 millimeter. It goes to something. And then this was my first set that I ever purchased myself. These are the boy hooks. They are the boy pink handle. They have a nice grippy. I should have more of these somewhere. I don't know where all my hooks disappeared to. I had a whole set of these, and they are not in here. So I don't know where they're at. These were clearanced out for, I think, $11 at Walmart. And it was a whole set, and it came in a zipper pouch similar to this, which might be where the rest of the hooks are. I just don't know where the zipper case is. It had all different sizes. And I really like these ones. These were my first favorite hooks. When I really got into crochet and I purchased myself this kit, I loved these hooks. I fell in love with them. I loved the fat, chunky handle because it just felt nice in my hand. And that nice little thumb grip there, and it's squish. Now, it's a short hook like the other ones, but like I showed you, these have a pointy tip. And this is rounded, so it doesn't really let my finger close enough to rub it the wrong way. So that's why I liked the boy hooks. Now all of these are ergonomic hooks. They're all got the nice squishy handle. This one's discolored too. I wonder what brand this is that they're all discolored like that. I don't know. And the heads are all, every hook I've showed you, the heads are almost identical. Even though the metal might be a little different from company to company, they're all very similar to the boy head. Got a rounded head here. It's got a little round, like the hook is formed rounded, as opposed to like an inline hook where it's cut into the shaft. This is more formed into the rounded. It's more rounded. And people have preferences. They absolutely have preferences. There are some people that are die-hard boy. They will never use Susan Bates. They hate Susan Bates. There are people that are Susan Bates hooks fans. They will never use boy. There's Clover people. Everybody has their own favorite kind of hook. And it's okay. What I suggest when you're really starting out crochet, or even if you've been crocheting for a long time, do not go full tilt and buy an entire set of hooks. Buy one. Test it out. Really try it out. Buy your favorite size and really just put some work into that hook and see if you like it. And that's what I did with these boy hooks. I bought the set because it was clearanced out for $11, which I found to be a really good deal for boy hooks. And I really love these, and these were my workhorse hooks for a long time. You'll see these in some of the earlier videos. I put some work on these hooks. I've made countless projects, blankets, shawls, all kinds of things with these boy hooks. They're good hooks. Are they my favorite now? No, because I've tried other hooks that I like more. But these hooks are, because they have the metal, I find that metal hooks, there's not, excuse my dog. The garbage man is outside. Hey, stop. Stop. The metal hooks are good for, they are the most versatile hooks. I think that's why in the beginning days, when all we had was these little metal hooks, I think that's why they made them out of metal, because they are the most versatile hooks. They work well with all kinds of materials. They work well with acrylic yarn. They work well with cotton yarn. They work well with polyester yarn. they're versatile. And these hooks are about $1.99 each right now on average. And I have them in all sizes. And I keep these in my hook caddy because oftentimes I will need just a thin hook to get into stitches. And I keep these with me because, like I said, they're versatile. You can use metal hook, the same thing. The metal shaft is, it helps. It's the smoothest for a wide variety of yarn. Now, if you have a really, really slippery yarn, you're not going to want to use a metal yarn. Like if you have a really shiny, slippery yarn, you're going to want to use a wooden hook, which we will get to in a minute, because the wooden hook is not as slick as this, and it will help you to slow down and grip the stitches a little more so that you're not constantly doing what I am always doing in tutorials and slipping out of my stitches because I crochet too fast. I get excited, I slip out. So these are what my mom used. My mom, she would have freaked out if she saw any of these other hooks. Like this is what she used. She used these little hooks that were, I think at the time, like 69 cents a piece. This is back when I was a teenager. And I don't know what brand she used. I'm assuming it was Boy because this is what I remember hooks looking like and feeling like when I was little. But these hooks, because they're all one solid piece of metal, because they're nice and smooth, you can carry these with you wherever you go. I should probably grab a bigger one so we're not looking at such a skinny hook. I sometimes will just throw these in my bag so that I have extra hooks hanging around, especially with travel, with like going from place to place. This hook's not going to break. The pieces are not going to come apart. And I've never broke a Boy hook either, but there is a possibility that the plastic and the metal can become separated. I've seen it happen. I have broke hooks before. I just have not broke any of those. So the metal is very versatile. You can use it with any kind of yarn, And also these type of hooks are a little bit better for, like, if you have scrubby yarn. This is not specifically a scrubby yarn, but if you have like funky yarn, scrubby yarns, you don't want to use a highly polished hook. You definitely don't want to use your Furls Odyssey, because I have used these with scrubby yarn, and it takes the polish off and it causes little burrs to occur, which will then snag further yarn. So do not ever use a Furls hook for that kind of like scratchy yarn. You don't even want to use it on like a tough wool because they're not going to last. But these, because they're just aluminum, these you can use these with any kind of hook. And if you can, I don't know if we're going to be able to focus, but on here there are lots and lots of like scuff marks from them being used, and like you can see where there's some wear and tear, but it's not losing the color, it's not losing the, because there's not really a overlay of metal on this. You can use any kind of yarn with these. These are very good for beginners as well. I did not say this, but the rubber handles, the thicker handles, are really good if you have problems with arthritis, or if you have gripping problems, like you can't grip real tight. A lot of times with the fatter hooks like this with the thicker handles, I will just rest in my hand because I do have severe grip issues. There are sometimes I can't hold my cup without dropping it. I can't grip real tight. I have really bad hand days. So these handles, another reason I like them is because I can hold them in my hand, and all I gotta do is close my fingers and it stays where it's supposed to be. Whereas these are a little bit harder for me to deal with on a day-to-day because they're so skinny. I have to grip them tight. That's one reason I don't use these a whole lot, but I do keep these on hand because, sorry, they do have their purpose. They do have their purpose. All right, now, since we brought up the wood, that's not wood. I have a collection of wood hooks. And I have a variety of wood hooks. So I have just your basic stick woods, and these I may have been gifted these. I don't know where these came from. They ended up in my stash. They're beautiful. They are like a rainbow wood. They're gorgeous hooks. They're nice and smooth, and they are inline, so they have that real deep cut in here. The problem that I have with these wood hooks is that this is too deep and this part right here is too sharp, and that snags coming back through when you're pulling through loops, that snags a lot. And so I use these hooks absolutely last. I actually don't like these hooks at all, but they're so pretty they stay here because they're so pretty. And I have a lot of pretty hooks that I don't use, but they're pretty. So the benefit of wood hooks, aside from them being pretty, they are really good, like I said, when you're using a slippery yarn, because even as smooth and as shiny as these hooks are, there is still grip to them. So I don't use wood with cotton at all because it slows me down so much. So I don't recommend wood with cotton, especially like kitchen cotton. Like if you're working with a really smooth cotton, it will work okay. But if you're going to use wood hooks, I recommend using them with a really slick yarn. It will slow down your stitching enough that you're not slipping out or that you're not missing stitches or any of that. That is the number one thing that I use my wood hooks for. Now the wood hooks I use most often are these ones. These three are furls, and this is an Ommi hook. This is wood where it matters, but it has like resin in the center just for like some prettiness. And I was actually gifted this one. So these are the last hooks that I actually reach for the same reasons I showed you with that other hook. The cut in here, this part right here, is really sharp. And I can sand it down, and I probably would get more use out of it if I sanded it down, because that's just too sharp, and it snags when I pull back through the stitches. It's very, like, it hooks. It's very snaggy. But I will use the wood ones if I'm trying to make something and I am repeatedly slipping out of the stitches because the yarn is too slippery or too shiny or too soft. And I will grab the wood one and switch out for the wood to slow myself down. The other benefit for the wood hooks, aside from slowing you down, is these are extremely lightweight. Of all of my hooks, and I should probably get my, I didn't clean it off yet, my dirty mailer. Let me clean it real quick. It's not a mailer. My handy dandy postal scale, which somebody set a cup on it and it got all yucky. I'm just going to wipe it down real quick for the camera while we're talking. It's still going to be streaky because I don't have Windex in here. Alright, so you take your regular old hook. Come on, turn on. This thing probably needs batteries. See, it's all streaky. Come on. I have to reset it. Gotta reset it. If I can get the battery out. I don't think I can. There's always difficulties. All right, oh, there we go. We got it to work. We just had to jiggle the battery. All right. Tear. There we go. All right, now, I think this is going to be set for fluid ounces, but it's fine, it doesn't matter. So, if you take, and I'm going to try to find hooks that are all about the same size. So 6mm, do I have a 6mm here? I have 5.5. We got 2 5.5, 3 5.5. Where are all my wooden hooks? 5, 5.5, 6.5. All right, we'll do 5.5 versus 6. Okay, you got your basic metal hook. It is 0.3 fluid ounces. This one's 5.75. That one is 0.8 ounces for the wooden handle. But then you got your wood hook, 0.4. So it is half as heavy as the rubber handled ones. And what did I say this one was? It's only 0.1 ounce heavier than a metal hook. And you see the size difference? It's 0.1 ounce heavier. So that's what I'm saying. The wooden hooks are much, much lighter. Even the one with resin. Let's see what the one with resin weighs. 0.5. This is only 0.2 ounces heavier with the chunk of resin in there. These hooks I recommend for people who have a hard... This is a wood hook too. This is Divit Shilp. I was gifted this one. This one is a good hook, except that I don't like how rounded the head is. That's a 7mm, and that's only 0.4 ounces. So one of the main benefits of the wooden hooks is the fact that they are so incredibly lightweight. Now if you take that, so when I say these were tear, 0.4 ounces, and then you put it up against a Odyssey hook. It's 1.6 ounces, so drastic difference. And then if you get a resin hook, we're just playing here now. We're just playing. The resin hooks are lightweight too, 0.7, so that's almost double the weight as the wooden hooks. So if you have a hard time with wooden hook, or you want a lightweight hook because of grip issues or whatever else, this style hook gives you the ergonomic shape, but it's also extremely lightweight. And so if you can use one of these bad babies, you can use one of these. Now, I get asked a lot when you get this shape specifically. I don't know so much about this shape. Can I use it pencil grip? Although that feels like pencil grip. I think that would probably work. I don't pencil grip. I knife hold. But I've been asked a lot, can you pencil grip with the furls? I've seen that people have a hard time with the pencil grip. It feels comfortable pencil gripping to me like this. I don't know. I don't think that I can actually crochet pencil grip. I have not tried in a very long time. But I get asked this a lot, and my number one thing to say is go watch Sandy from Crochet A, because she uses pencil grip and she uses furls. Yeah, see that? That feels as easy to me. I probably could pencil grip. Never tried. That feels as comfortable to me as holding it the other way. This actually feels more comfortable to me than holding a pencil. Who knew I could pencil grip? Look at that. That's the number one question I get in regards to this shaped hook. Can you pencil grip? I don't see why not. It's gonna feel weird. It's gonna feel weird at first because it's a different shape than what you're used to. But for me, growing up writing using pencils and utensils, because I am ambidextrous. Okay, I can use my right and left hand almost equally with most things. And as a matter of fact, even though I predominantly write with my right hand, I probably write better with my left hand, so I probably should have been a lefty. And I have tried to teach myself to also crochet left-handed, which is a feat in itself, which I was able to do. I crocheted a couple rows left-handed. It takes more brain power, and it takes, just like this, it takes a longer time, and it slows me. Look at that. I'm pencil gripping, guys. Kinda. This is how I hold my pencils anyway. But anyway, when I was growing up, my penmanship was always bad, so they would give me these big pencil things. They go over your pencil to make your pencil fatter, so when you hold it. But yeah, I don't see why you couldn't pencil grip with that. Because normally, I hold it like this. And this is cotton yarn, so this has proven my point that cotton and wood are not like the best of companions, because there's a lot of drag on the wood hooks with cotton. So the wooden hooks, lightweight, definitely help you to slow down. So there are lots of good aspects, but if you don't want to be slowed down and you don't want drag, that's the negative of wooden hooks. Now, moving on. We have a whole slew of resin hooks. We have furls. We have Ommi. These are my favorite because they're so pretty, and I like that they're so long. We have Boy, and these are all made out of resin in some facet. This one's really pretty. That's a furls too. I have far more furls than anything, but the Ommi are my current favorites, and for a long time it was the furls that was. This is a plastic hook. This is a Hobby Lobby hook, and I think I have 2 of those, and I have, what else falls into the resin category in my opinion. Let me see. I know that I have another one. I'm not seeing it. I just saw it a minute ago. Where is it? Where'd it go? Where'd it go? Oh, actually, I have 3 of those. Look at that. I got 3 of those. Where are you? I just saw you. I'm twirling my thing around over and over again. I cannot find the... There it is. Or I have this one is the Prim. So the Prim and the Hobby Lobby hooks. Oh, yeah, we're off camera. Hello. Roll it this way. The Prim and the Hobby Lobby, the older Hobby Lobby hooks, very, very similar. I would compare these to each other. They feel the same. They work up the same. They are so similar. Let's move these aside. We'll talk about these. These are very lightweight too. They feel like hollow plastic, but they have the rubber grip on them, and they are a little bit fatter towards the bottom. They're not super fat. Now, the benefit of these hooks, the Prim and the Hobby Lobby hooks, is that they don't roll. And the reason they don't roll is because instead of being round, you see that? They are actually oblong or ovular. So, let's see if we can get that too. See how it's, come on, focus. The camera might be too close. It is oblong, so it's longer this way and shorter this way. So it's shaped like an egg shape or an oval shape, and it helps you to grip because it gets the hook just in the right position in your hand. You move it around till it's where it needs to be. The flat parts oftentimes will lay against the fat of my hand here and against my fingertips there for working. It doesn't roll around in your hand a whole lot, but it also doesn't roll around on the table. Now this is a hard hook all the way around. The whole thing is plastic. However, it has like the thinnest rubber coating on the surface here. And you can see here, this is the plastic of the hook that is just shaved to give you the design. So they shave the gray off to give you the design. So this is rubbery, so it's not going to slip around in your hand. It gives good grip because of the rubber. But these are decent hooks. They, however, are kind of slow because the plastic is kind of rough. And they're kind of slow. They slow you down. But I do like these hooks. I think they are good. They're not my favorite. They're not my number 1 go-to hook. But they are really good, and they are good for the price. They're lightweight. They're not super heavy. Let's try this again. I'll weigh one. This is a 7mm hook, 0.4, so it's about the same weight as a wood hook. They're very lightweight. That was 0.6 for a M or a 9mm hook. The Prim are identical to this. They just have a different design. They feel the same. They work the same. Although the plastic feels a little more textured. Well, maybe not. This one's just smoother than these. It feels the same as a Hobby Lobby hook. And that one is 0.4 for a 4.5mm Prim hook. So, those are good. These are also really good for throwing it in your bag if you're going like somewhere. Because these aren't going to break real easily because they're plastic. And there is some grip issues. These act a lot like the wooden hooks in the fact that they slow my stitches down just a little bit. These are not as bad as the wooden hooks, but I do keep them on hand because these are really good for, like, you know, travel projects, for keeping it in a bag that's getting tossed around. You don't want the hook to break if you're like moving around a lot like I do. The only problem is these hooks are really good for dog chew toys. Ask me how I know that. Well, Miss Scarlett, I think it might have been Oreo. One of the dogs ate one of these plastic hooks. She chewed the whole end. I was so upset because it was the only one I had, so I had to go and replace it. But these make really good chew toys for dogs, so keep these away from your dog because a dog will want to chew on that because of that little rubbery bit on the handle. They also chew on these. Same thing, rubbery. Keep the rubbery ones away from the dogs. The dogs like them. All right. Now, let's move on to the pure resin. Pure resin. I'm going to tell you, I have used all of these hooks a lot. This hook least often. This is a basic boy plastic hook. It's a fine hook. It is 11.5 millimeters. I use this for bigger yarns because I don't have a lot of really big hooks. I think Furls only goes up to a size 10. That's an 8. I know I have a 10. Furls goes up to a size 10 millimeter. And so boy goes up much higher. I actually have bigger hooks than this from boy. I have a 15 millimeter, and I have a even bigger than that. I think I might have a 30 millimeter crochet hook. It is enormous, and I bought it just because it was fun to play with. And it was clearance out for like $1. These are decent plastic hooks. They're decent hooks. They really are. They're not real easily breakable, because I've put some work into this thing. There's not flex or give in this one specifically. It's just hard resin. This is one of the very first plastic hooks that I purchased, and it was because I needed a big hook. And it works just fine. I don't have anything specifically against this hook. I think the one funny thing is I'm confident that this is a boy hook, but it is inline. Well, no, it's inline. That is inline. Well, maybe it's not a boy. I thought this was a boy hook. I'm convinced this is a boy hook. But it's weird that it's inline. Maybe because it's such a big hook that it had to be. It's got like too much of a rounded tip for me. I like a much sharper tip to get into stitches, because I tend to stitch real tight. So I have nothing really to say about that hook. It's plastic. It's a basic plastic hook. Now, let's talk about these, because these are beautiful. These are works of art. These are a little more on the expensive side, some more than others. Price for a lot of these other hooks, like the Prim hooks, I'm not sure how much the Prim hooks cost, because like I said, this was gifted to me, but the Hobby Lobby hooks are maybe $2, and they go on sale, and you can use coupon, although I don't think Hobby Lobby does coupons anymore, but they do go on sale, I think every other week. You can get these for 50% off, so you can get these for like $1. The wooden hooks from Furls, well, not this one, this one's an Ommi hook. That's not it either. The wooden hooks from Furls, I think retail for, they used to be $11. I think they might have gone up a little bit. I'm going to check Furls' website real quick so I give you guys proper information. These are maybe, nope. Furls Crochet. Bear with me, guys. Furls has hooks for like all price ranges. Streamline wood, which is what these are. My clock is so loud. So the wooden hooks start at $17 from what I see on their website, but go up to $20 depending on the color of the wood or the type of wood. So I think this one might be 20. They went up a lot then since the last time I checked on these. The Divit Shilp and the Ommi hooks I think are around $12 or $13 on Amazon. They have not had the one with resin in it in a long time, so don't go looking for this one. because it's been out of stock for a long time. Every once in a while it'll pop up on Amazon, but I was just showing you guys because it's a wood hook. So, but they do have wood hooks in Divit Shilp and the Ommi hooks on Amazon for around $12 or $13. Now these hooks, we have Furls and we have Ommi. Furls for a long time was my absolute favorite hook of all times. I discovered the Ommi and I just love, they are such a sexy looking hook. They are so pretty. There's nothing wrong with the Furls hooks. I have not yet broken a Furls resin hook. I have broken one of the, this shape, let me see. I know I have one in here. This one. This is also an Ommi hook. Ommi has the fancy hooks, but they also have the ones that look more like this design, except they have this little thing here. So I had one of these in this colorway from the Ommi, and I snapped the tip off by dropping it on the ground. A lot of people have told me that they have dropped and broke the Furls hooks as well. So that is another, I got a blue one of those too. I have so many pretty hooks, guys. It is hard for me to choose which ones are my favorites. I have a lot of the Ommis. The Ommis are, those are so pretty. This is also an Ommi. It is very, very comparable to the Furls. The difference is the price. These are like $13, $14 on Amazon. And there's not as many colors, and it's hit or miss which color you're going to be able to find on Amazon. But like $13 or $14 whereas the Furls hooks are currently $24 according to their website. Furls, you're going to find a lot more color options and variations. Not as many of the Ommi hooks on Amazon, but they are very, very comparable hooks. And I've done a review comparing the two together. Give you a look at the head. They are comparable in size and shape, except the Ommi hooks are longer, which I love because it hangs out the back of my hand, so it's not rubbing me and hitting me here and causing me to have issues. So I assume if you had large hands, these would probably be much better for someone who has large hands, because shorter hooks, like I said, can hit you here and cause blisters and rub you the wrong way. So that's one reason I really like the Ommi hooks. Don't get me wrong, I love Furls hooks. They're beautiful. I have lots and lots of colors of the Furls hooks in all sizes, in all designs. I have lots of Furls. That's not even all of them. I have a lot. Okay, I love them. They're beautiful. I like working with them. They're smooth. But for the price alone, I have been stocking up on the Ommi hooks. So that's the basic shape of the Ommi hooks. And then you have the magic wand shape, which is what I call it. And I'll show you I like those a lot. But like I said, Furls. This is a Furls hook. It is stunning, gorgeous. I still have an affiliate connection with Furls, but I don't use it any longer. I had an issue with, I was talking to one of the CEOs, and I just didn't like the way her attitude was going. So I just discontinued using that link. Took the link out. I'm like, nope, I'm not gonna do it. Isn't that beautiful though? It's so pretty. Now let's get down to my favorite hook. These are the Ommi hooks. These once again are like about $14 on 12 or 14, I'm not sure, on Amazon. I will link these directly below. My Amazon is an affiliate link. I make a small percentage back if you purchase these hooks. That's not why I'm showing you these hooks. I'm showing you because I like them a lot. Now, the reason I like these is totally stupid. I feel like I am a magician, or I am a witch or a wizard, whatever you want to call me, because this looks like a magic wand. It looks like a wand. I feel fancy when I'm holding it. It looks so pretty. I mean, they're just a sexy hook. They are so pretty. So they come in different colors, and again, because it's Amazon, it's hit or miss what color is available at what time. So you just got to keep checking every day for what colors. I will link whatever colors I can find below of these hooks. This one is the black and red. and they are absolutely just beautiful. I will say this though, this one in particular, you see right here, maybe you can see, there is a crack right here. It's not a crack. It's not. This hook is made in 2 pieces. So if I twist really hard, this piece will come off. And I learned that because I was crocheting the heck out of using this hook, and that part can't. It's not. Look though, it's really sturdy. I'm not gonna bang it because it is resin, but using it, it started to separate a little bit, and all I did is I twisted it really hard back together, and I haven't had a problem with it since. That is the main problem with the Ommi hooks. That is the only issue I've ever had with the Ommi hooks. This is the black and orange, which is just like a tiger, like, I don't know, it's just so pretty. And this one, as you can see, there is no division or crack there. It is sealed up nice and tight, but these are made in 2 pieces. So that's going to be a weak point in your hook, as well as here. But all resin hooks are weak here. So you do not want to put this somewhere where it's going to roll off the table, because they can very easily roll off the table. And it's the same thing with the furls hooks. That one actually rolls a little bit better. I have dropped resin hooks off of my desk and they have snapped at the tip. So you have to be careful with these. These are not good for throwing in your notions pouch and just throwing in your project bags. You're going to want, if you're going to carry these with you where you go, like on travel, you're going to want a nice hard case for it. And I showed you guys in past videos, I got this from Amazon. I will link this as well too. This is a hard-sided pencil case. It was $6. My Ommi hooks fit in here perfectly. I can actually fit 4 hooks in here. They fit perfectly in here. Keeps them safe. This makes it easier for me to be able to travel with them. You can even put some on this side. This case cost me $6 and I can fit 4 hooks in it. And now I can transport those hooks wherever I want, whenever I want, and they are safe and they are secure because it's got that hard edge to it. I'm going to try to find the link to this as well on Amazon. Now let's talk about working with these hooks, because they are the resin, and this goes for the furls and for the Ommi hooks. These are very smooth, very nice hooks to work with. I'm going to put my hooks back in my little thingy. These will help you to crochet faster, including the furls. This is furls and Ommi. They're both interchangeable in my opinion. They are so similar in the way that they work. They're similar in the way that they crochet things up. They're very smooth, very slick. These work with a wide variety of yarns. Even the cotton I was working with does really well with the resin hooks. The main downfall of a resin hook is that they are breakable. They are far more breakable than any other hook. I think I have only broke 1 or 2 of the resin hooks, and it was by dropping it. And I've heard of people accidentally stepping on it or accidentally sitting on it. And that's just something, you just got to be a little more careful with these. That's another reason I prefer the Ommi over the furls, because the Ommi are half the price. And if I break it, I don't want to cry as much as I do if I spent $24 on one single hook and I broke it. That would just devastate me, break my heart. So, it's another reason. I also, see how I hold my hook right here? Now I hold these differently, slightly differently than I hold this shape. Because this shape, my fingers tend to close a little more. When I'm holding this one, my fingers tend to, my pinky or my ring finger go into these little grooves right here. And I don't have to grip at all with these fingers. It just kind of sits where my pinky is. And that's another big reason why I like these hooks, is because it just kind of feels nice in my hand. Now you see I do have a big extension out the back of my hand, but it's not touching or rubbing anything to cause blisters. So I really love that these hooks are extra long. They're lightweight. They're beautiful. And I feel like I'm doing magic. But I also really like that knob because of where my fingers lay. My finger is directly in this crack right here. And it holds it so that it's not slipping up and down my hand because my pinky is barely holding on there. It doesn't make my hands hot or sweaty. I love these hooks. So that is my absolute favorite hook of all time right now. Which is why I will keep on using this hook over and over again. These are the hooks I reach for first because I like working with them. I find them to be enjoyable. Now, let's move on to the newest hooks that are in my collection. And I showed these on Tuesday, but I've also been working a pattern with these. Now this is Jada and Stitch's new hat pattern. And this is just some big twist yarn. This yarn is nice. It's much nicer than I thought it was going to be. These hooks, now that I've worked with them, I'm starting to see there are some flaws with them. But if you watched my review the other day, these are excellent, excellent hooks for travel. They're excellent for travel. You have your cutter in this end, which is not the best cutter. It's an okay cutter, but it's a decent cutter. I mean, it's decent for the fact that you are traveling with it. The hook, a little bit heavy. It's just slightly heavy. It's not so much that it's going to stop me from using it. My biggest problem with this hook so far has been, because do you see how I use the entire shaft? I use the entire shaft when I'm crocheting. My biggest issue with this hook has been that this part right here, this plastic part, is snaggy. There's parts where it's hitting the yarn and snagging it, and with wear and tear it has gotten less, but it has been a little bit snaggy. That's the main problem that I've had with this hook. Aside from that, it's going to be a really good hook for travel. And I'm really looking forward to going on a trip so I can take it with me. Because I feel like it's durable enough that it's not going to get broke. It's durable enough that I can, throw it in my little notions pouch and be on my way. And it's already got the hook and the cutter with it. And then all those extra little bits and bobs. These little pieces, they don't take up any room at all. And you can store them in the other end if you don't want to carry the cutter in there. And you have two different hooks in one. I just think they're neat. They're not the greatest quality hook. And I've had a few people question me about them. There are imperfections in the rubbery overlay. Like I said, there's like a blister there. And you can feel that there's hard plastic underneath and that the rubbery part is coming off. And I also am wondering if the lettering is going to come off with wear and tear because it's right there. I think maybe the lettering would have been better off printed somewhere on here. I think that would have probably made more sense. But I can see why they put it there, because even if I'm using this in a project, I can see, even if it's in here, I can see what size it is. But that's one of the things, as I was using it yesterday, I was like, okay, well, that might be a problem after time. But only time will tell. Only time will tell. But I'm really excited. I've used the heck out of it. I've crocheted this entire thing with this. And I like it. It's a decent hook. It's not by no means a furl or an Ommi hook. But it is a decent hook for what it does, for what it is. And I've had a few people say, well, I have the Swiss Army knife looking crochet hooks. My battery died. So the one thing that people have said to me about the Swiss Army knife style hook thing is that the hooks don't stay locked in place. So when you flip it out, like Swiss Army knife style, they don't stay locked in place. I have never used one of those. Carrie Penny is the Happy Crafty Homemaker. She did a review on one of those recently. I did not watch the video because I have not had time to watch that video yet. But to me, that thing looks kind of funky in your hand. I can't imagine the way it's shaped. It seems like it would feel weird in my hand, whereas this just feels like a crochet hook. And I mean, it does feel like a heavy crochet hook. So I think after a long period of time crocheting with this, it might cause some strain on my wrist. I don't know about that for sure because I've only done this part. And I did this watching a movie, so, you know, I haven't used it for hours on end. But I don't think I would use this for hours on end. I really think this is going to be the perfect hook for car travel, for train travel. I have not been on an airplane in like 15 years, so I don't know about, and I definitely was not crocheting at that time. I don't know what airplane regulations are in regards to crochet hooks, so check with your airline. But I'm thinking this is like the perfect travel hook for me, just because a lot of those hooks I don't like bringing with me because I don't want to break them. I want a hook that I'm not real worried about, and this seems sturdy enough that it's not going to break on me. I also did have a question. Someone said that they were worried about the little pegs possibly breaking off. It's always a possibility. It's always a possibility. And yeah, it could break off. It doesn't feel like it's cheap, inferior plastic to me. But I have also broken a Furls hook. I've broke a Furls Odyssey hook. And look at that. That's from wear and tear. The paint chips off of the Furls hooks. These Furls Odyssey hooks are expensive. And I've had more problems with these Odyssey hooks than any other hook I've ever had. And they were for a long time my favorite go-to hook because they're weighted, the weight is evenly distributed. These hooks were my favorite for a long time. These hooks are $36 a piece. The more wear and tear I put on these hooks, the more problems I've seen with these hooks. I have broke one of these right here. So there is a metal here and there's a metal core that goes all the way through, and the metal core snapped because it's a very brittle, porous. It's a porous metal. It like you can see it's just pores. And so I snapped it actually while using it because I was holding it in my hand like this, and then all of a sudden this part felt a little weird and I turned it over and I kid you not, it was just broke right there. I don't know if it was a flaw in the design, but another thing is from putting your hand there, this paint and color chips off and you can feel that is a chip off of there. And also, like I said, this beautiful shiny finish that helps you to crochet rocket fast, this finish comes off. And if you're not careful, this one specifically, there are pocks right here that my nails are snagging on. You have to be careful with what kind of yarn you use so that it doesn't take the finish off, because that will snag the heck out of your yarn. And I've had them occur up here. Oh, there's one there too. So, we're not talking a whole lot about the Odysseys because I've spent a lot of money to buy a lot of these Odysseys. And they're beautiful, but you see even that one. The paint comes off. The stickers on the bottom come off that tell you the size. And these at one time were my favorite, and now I don't reach for them very often because of that. There's just too many issues. I can't use any yarn that is even remotely scrubby-ish because it peels the finish off. So, yeah. The hooks, the good, the bad, and the ugly. So there's lots of things to think about when you're purchasing hooks. You don't want to buy, I mean, if you're perfectly happy with the dollar hooks, you buy the dollar hooks. You use what hooks make you happy. You don't have to spend an arm and a leg to have a good hook. This I recommend for travel for sure. These make me feel special, like I'm waving a magic wand and doing magic with my crochet, so those are pretty. I do like the furl resin hooks. The problem with either of these hooks is they can break if dropped very easily. But there's so many hooks on the market to choose from. I don't recommend going full tilt and buying a whole set of a hook because someone on YouTube recommended it. I don't recommend that. I recommend you buy one hook. And even this set, I bought the big set because I wanted to try out the big set. I wanted all the pieces. But the smaller set with one handle and two hooks, or one handle, one hook, and one cutter, that's perfectly fine to try out, and it's half the price. If you want to try something like this for your travel, or for just if you have a lot of doctor's appointments, this is good to keep in your bag for doctor's appointments because it's a sturdy hook. I don't foresee this breaking, and just lots of reasons. This is going to be a travel hook. This is going to be an out of the house travel hook. And right now I'm making this beautiful Jada and Stitches hat pattern because I just thought it was really cool. And I wanted to try this hook out, so that's what I'm using it for. And this yarn is really nice. It's anti-pilling acrylic, big twist. This is comparable, I dare say, to Premier Yarn's anti-pilling acrylic. It is so nice. It feels squishy. It feels just lovely. I'm kind of falling in love with it. Alright guys, that is it for our hook reviews today. I hope you have learned something. I hope I have entertained you. Thank you for spending this time with me while I just talked about hooks. And let me know in the comments, what is your favorite hook and why? Why do you like the hook that you like? Is it because it's affordable? Do you like it because it's lightweight? Do you like it because it's smooth? Tell me the reasons. Tell me what makes you fall in love with the hook. And if you just don't care about hooks that much, it's just a tool to you and you just stick with the dollar ones, I want to know that too. Just tell me all of the things. Why do you use the hooks that you use? What started? What hooks did you used to love that you don't love? I want to know, what is your opinion on your hooks? What's your favorite hook? All right, hit me below. I'll see you in the next one.